Alright, yo, what's up? It's me. Alright, so I'm going to do my best here to explain how refrigeration works. Because when you go from HVAC to refrigeration, it's very hard to make the jump. Very hard. Because you're used to seeing, your evaporator temperature, saturated evaporator temperature, pressure converted at, 34, 35, 40 degrees, right? And then you take your temperature split across the coil. You don't do that in refrigeration. Also, there's no interconnecting wires between the condenser and the evaporator. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do my best. What's up, dude? I was like, what are you doing? Okay, so here's your condenser. Okay, compressor, and a fan. Alright. Here's your condenser. That's a compressor. Here's your evaporator. Alright. Looks a little something like that. Couple screws. 2 fans. Okay. So now there's multiple ways to wire this. So sometimes electricians will wire the lights and this on one circuit, or they'll wire, what they should do is you just bring your line in. So here, let me show you this. So there's no interconnecting wires. This is a walk-in cooler. Walk-in cooler. Okay, we'll get to a freezer in a second. The walk-in cooler, you have no wires that connect between here and here. This turns on because of the solenoid. So here, let's mock this out, right? So no wires. This has its own circuit. Boop, boop. Disconnect, right? 208. This is 115 volts, right? So the voltage doesn't have to match because the wires don't connect, okay? So on some units, you'll say, well, Dennis, I see 4 or 5 wires that go from here to here. Well, that's because there's the time clock in the condenser. So the time clock should be somewhere near the evaporator, okay? So this is how it should go. Typically, right, on your normal walk-in, you have power come in. It goes to your thermostat, okay? Boop, boop. So this is L1. And then this goes to your solenoid. Okay, that's your solenoid. And then this goes to neutral if it's 115. Okay, so super simple. Power comes in, goes to your thermostat. Your thermostat says, hey, I want to call for cooling, and it opens up this valve. This solenoid opens. Okay, so pressure will start going through. So here, let's draw 2 lines, one bigger, right? That solenoid sits right here. Okay, so all the pressure opens, floods into the evaporator. Okay, this unit turns on because of the low pressure switch. So there's a low pressure switch. Low pressure switch. Very simple. Okay, this is even easier. All this is doing is going through. You come out, and then this goes to your contactor coil. That's it. Just to the coil of the contactor. And then that goes to L2. Alright? So, pretty simple, right? So no interconnecting wires unless there's a time clock here. Now you're saying, well, you didn't show a time clock here. Well, this is how most walk-in coolers don't have a time clock, right? However, it's 2021. Whenever we do anything with a walk-in, if I replace the thermostat, I always put a time clock in. So we're going to show you how to wire that. Very, very simple. Okay? So here's your time clock. You got 1 and N. I'm drawing it a little messed up. So 1 and N. So neutral. That's very simple. 115 volt again. Okay? 1 is your line 1. Just like up here. Line 1. So instead of running it to here, you run it into your time clock. Okay? Time clock. Now, 2 and 4. That's all you need on a walk-in cooler. 3 you use on a freezer. X you use on a freezer. So just worry about 2 and 4. Now, no voltage is right here, okay? So you need to put voltage there. So 1, you jump to 2, okay? So now there's power there. When this is in refrigeration mode, there's 2 lights, refrigeration and defrost, it's going to send power out on 4. Now 4 is going to follow the same thing from up here, see? So now 4 is going to go in to your thermostat. Okay, come out, go to your solenoid, and then to neutral. That's how easy the time clock is. This is no low voltage. That's what it's hard to understand. No low voltage. Okay? And now there's multiple ways that a time clock can be wired. Some units do it very funky where they power the timer. Okay? The only reason you power 1 and N is to make this thing spin. That's it. And 1, you jump to 2 because there's no power here until you put it there. Then that sends out on 4 in refrigeration. Okay? So if the thermostat's satisfied, right, this is going to be closed, and then your low pressure switch will pump down and shut off around 0 to 5 psi. Okay, now super simple low pressure switch. People tend to overcomplicate it. Okay, it's very simple. Low pressure switch. So some have very easy. They have cut in, cut out. That's simple, right? So if you have cut in and you have cut out, that's easy. Okay, so you set your cut in for about 28, 30, 20, somewhere around there. Okay, depending upon refrigerant. And you shut off around 0 to 5. But if you have that silly one where it's like cut in is cut out minus differential, so you just worry about your cut in. Cut in is cut out minus differential. Don't even listen to that. You cut in temp, okay, or excuse me, cut in pressure. Put it up to your 25 or 30. Now you have to verify that with your gauges. You can't just put it to that and go, okay, you're good. So then over here, you're going to have your differential. Okay, so if you have 15 over here, right, 15 minus 28, that's 13. So you probably want to go a little more. So you probably want to do like 22. Okay, so 28 minus 22 is 6. You see what I'm saying? So that's how that one works. Now on a freezer, as long as the time clock is in the walk-in box and not in the condenser, there will still be no interconnecting wires. None. Okay? 0. Okay, in a walk-in cooler, you want 10 to 12 degrees of superheat. At the evap, there's 2 superheats that you want to take. One's your evap, one's at your compressor, just like you would take it at your residential. You want 20. This way it keeps the return gas under 65 degrees, which cools the compressor. Okay? So, let's go to a walk-in freezer. So, walk-in freezer. And the problem with me doing this for a freezer is that this is the basic version of a freezer. This isn't when you have contactors and holdout relays and all that other goofy stuff that's mixed in there. Okay, so like I said, up there, so we're gonna do 1, 2, 4, 3, and X. All right, so we know that 1 is line 1. All right, freezers are always 208. Okay, always 208 volts for a freezer. Walk-in freezer. Walk-in freezer. Alright, so no interconnecting wires. Just like that. Just the pipes and the solenoid. When that opens, this closes and turns this on. Alright, so when this closes, poof, solenoid closes, it stops the flow of refrigerant. It backs up into the receiver and condenser, and then this pumps down and shuts off because all the pressure just got taken out of here and sucked back. Okay, and then the compressor valves hold it back, and this valve holds it. So it holds between the valves and here. All right. So this one's the same thing. You jump 1 to 2. Okay. 4, you're gonna come out. Go through your stat. Come out. And go to your solenoid. All right. And then this goes to L2, wherever L2 comes in at. So what you might be asking too is, these fans will stay on all the time. In defrost too, the fans will stay on. These fans shut off in defrost because you don't want to be blowing hot air around while the heaters are on, okay? So 3 will come out. It'll go through your heater limit. So if it gets too hot, that opens and kills that circuit so it doesn't melt the coil or cause some type of damage, fire, etc. All right, so 3, heater limit. And then I'm not going to draw this one out because this is too much for the heating circuit. So pretty much it goes through your heaters and comes out of your heaters and goes to L2. But there's jumpers in between, okay, that power the 2 or 3 different heaters, 4 heaters. Neutral is L2. All right. Four will come out and go through your termination, neutral, and X. And that's that 3-wire clicks on. So normally your middle is your neutral. 4 is for like your fans, and then X will turn it off. So if you ever have a system that doesn't go into defrost, you can take the X terminal off, see if it goes into a defrost, and then this way you know if this thing is bad, the clicks on. Alright, so maybe that helps somebody out. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Goodbye.